Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching or listening to this, and welcome to another episode of the Non-Identity Podcast. Now, this week we are joined by an actor and the founder of River Blue Production, who has a variety of short films to his name, along with TV appearances in cancel culture and Brassic. And in 2020, he done what most of us would dream of, and that was able to mug David Platt on the cobbles of Coronation Street. It's Stephen. Hi, Stephen. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Lee. Thanks for having me on.
Before we get into the interview, can we just take a quick look at some of your work?
Fair not a short change, bro.
What you on about?
Last week, short change, bro.
No, I didn't. Was every fucking penny in there? I checked.
If I say you short change, bro, then you short change, bro. I decide the price, alright? Think you're smart, don't you? Selling your pills to your mates. Running your little mouth off. Let me tell you something. You do as I say, while I'll wipe that smile off your face. Understand?
Yeah, right.
God. See you next Friday.
Never pay to have it sucked again. Auto Blow 2, Titan Edition.
My mum's just died.
Well, you'll need it all the more then, won't you?
Motty, will you fuck off with your blowjob machine? Fucking Auto Blow 2. Have you improved it on the last one?
Well, the first one snagged, didn't it?
You're never going to sell that, bud.
Sorry, I just needed to, you know.
It's a big thing, isn't it? Becoming a dad.
I just didn't see me settling down yet. Thought I'd go on a few more tours, see the world.
You know, no parent ever really feels ready. Even if they've been planning it for years.
Never going to be around, though. I had to get special permission to get here today. No kid deserves that. What if I mess up?
Phone and wallet. I'm going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's now what you're going to do. Do something then.
What do you mean? What? No, nothing. No. Have you slept? No, no. Once.
Oh.
3 times. Okay. But when you first started going out, things were still casual. It all makes sense now. Constantly putting me off the scent so you can sneak in there yourself. You've lied to me. She's lied to me. I feel violated. You just said she's sex mad. I'm just trying to help her mate out here. Oh, come on, don't be like this. Where are you going? Get full English.
I've got no fear of that with you by my side. Right, mate?
Our agreement is between us, mate. Only I'm going to look the other way.
You're a strong bloke. My face, my name comes up. Push your TV in someone else's direction. You can make them listen, can't you?
Well, that's brilliant stuff. Before we get into your career, can you just explain to people who you are and where you grew up?
So, as my name's Stephen Gidwainer, as you nicely pointed out. I grew up in Droylsden, Manchester, to a single mum. And, just a normal childhood, really. Going to school, causing trouble, milking my mum dry of all the money. Just a normal childhood, really, in the good old city of Manchester.
And like we said, you've got a career in acting. What made you decide to get into acting?
So, I remember when I first so it's weird. So I did acting in primary school, and I did drama in high school, but I never actually in my head was like, oh, I want to be an actor. And then in my later years, I say later years, I am literally talking like when I was 18, 19, so not that much later. But it just kind of was in my head, let's give it a go. It just randomly came out of nowhere. But at the time, I was suffering really badly with depression, and I didn't realise that I had depression. So in the time that I was trying to get into an acting school, I had that going on at the same time. So it didn't happen. but it was, I think, because it wasn't the right time, because my head wasn't in the right space. And then during my battle with depression, when I didn't know that I had it, I was watching a storyline on Coronation Street, funnily enough. It was Steve McDonald's depression storyline. And that's what told me that I had depression, because I wouldn't go and seek help because I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. And then once I got myself back to me and back to what I am, yeah, I got into an acting school called Thinking Actors, and I thought, right, I'm going to give it a go, and then it's just kind of snowballed on from there, really.
Do you think you're trying to run away from something? Because when I spoke to like Jake Wood, Tony Clay, and Graham Cole,
Yeah.
we've all sort of said like to get into the entertainment field and acting and stuff, because you're being someone different. It's like you're not having to be you.
Yeah, there is an element of that, because yeah, you've literally, so it's even if you're not having like really bad times, even if it's just like, well, the mundane home life of, you know, changing the bins or what, you know, whatever it might be, you've literally got to leave it all and literally become someone else. So yeah, I think there is an element of that where where there is a case of you've got to leave yourself at your front door and literally put someone else's clothes on and be someone else and take on their problems, which could be worse or not as worse as yours. So yeah.
How hard have you found the acting career? Because when I was 15, we had a production company come to our school, and I managed to get a part on a CBBC drama called See You in Court, and I had a live interview. Yeah, and I had a live interview on CBBC and stuff, and I thought, that's it, I made it now. So I just sat back and thought, that's it, I've made it. That's it, my dreams come true. I'm gonna act and everything, and then nothing happened. So I was very naive. It's one of my sort of life regrets, really, because I didn't go out and push myself. Do you find that with you, because like, obviously you've been in comedy, you've done a couple of TV movies and stuff, but do you still find you still have to push yourself to get out there, even though you've got them under your
100%, yeah. 100%, yeah. So the last television appearance I made was in a Sky comedy called Brassic, and that was it was either 2020 or 2021. So you're going back like a good couple of years now. You definitely, I mean, there was COVID in the middle of because it was Coronation Street at Brassic, so COVID had an effect. But obviously, I can't blame it all on that because we're now in 2024. But no, it's a really hard industry. You've really got to, because obviously, I know we've recently followed each other on social media, and you'll see on my Instagram, I'm constantly posting, you know, I've got, you know, self tapes and auditions and stuff like that. But if I don't know whether anyone clocks this, but no one notices that I'm not talking about then booking a job, and that's because I don't. So there's the rejection in there as well. There is a lot of rejection. For 100 no's, you'll get one yes. You've just got to, and it's hard. You've just got to stay mentally hungry enough to be still searching for that one yes. I took a little bit of a break out of acting for about a year to have my son. So I got back into it. I'm properly pushing myself at the start of last year, and got myself. I got back with an old agent that I was with a few years ago, and she's been really pushing me, and she's got me some amazing opportunities. But you know, I've not managed to book anything yet, and there's, you know, there is times where you go, oh, is it going to work? You know, is there a point in carrying this on and all this, that, and the other? But that's what I mean. You've got to stay mentally hungry enough to keep searching for that yes. And at the moment, I am. But that's where I think, you know, people say when the enjoyment goes and the fun goes, that's when it's time to, you know, that's when it's time to call it a day.
No, exactly. And can you give some audition tips to people? Because I got told when I was auditioning for my TV part all them years ago, be different. And my advice was, I think I went into the audition reading the ingredients of a cereal box as it was the news, just to stand out.
Right. Yeah.
So that was a bit of advice I got given, was be different. What advice could you give to others going to audition?
Honestly, just be yourself, and that is the best. I went for one audition that I got. I got it, so I can say it was Coronation Street. And when I went for that audition, I literally spot. Did you watch the Netflix thing? Don't fuck with cats. Yeah, there was a Netflix documentary called "Don't Fuck with Cats," and it was basically about this bloke that wanted to be famous and he got rejected, so he ended up. I think the character he was trying to play was Sharon Stone in a certain film, and he basically ended up going around killing all the cats because he wanted to be famous. That honestly, that's what it sounds mental, but it's true.
Is that a true story?
It's a true story. It's on Netflix. Honestly, search it up. But yeah, literally went into the room and we were talking about that for about 10, 15 minutes, and then they turned around and said, "Right, should we get on with the read then?" And I kind of completely forgot what I was there for. I was like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, let's get on with it." So yeah, just be yourself and just if you're chatty, have a chat. Do you know what I mean? And just be yourself and show yourself, because that's all they want to see. That is all they want to see, and they want to see as well who the real you is, because as well as being a good actor or whatever it is, it's also good about being a good person.
Yeah,
because they only want to work with decent people. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, just be yourself.
And Corrie came about, and how was that for you? Did you feel like
I loved it.
Was the waiting process a long time, or did you find out quite quick when you got the part?
Ooh, that's a question. I can't quite remember. It was a few years ago. I think I'm gonna say it was maybe about a week. It wasn't that long to get in the car to say that I got it. I was in work at the time. I was on the till at work at the time, and he had to get someone to cover me so that I could only take the phone call. And I was like, "Right, I'm going home now. See you later."
It's amazing. Like, you hear a lot of people's stories when they find out when they've got their parts and stuff, and it always seems to be in a car park behind work or something like that. That they've had to go and get the call, and then you have to go back into work all calm and casual. Like,
I was scanning jean shopping through the till when I got the phone call to say I was going to book David Platt. I'm like, this could not be more surreal if it's right.
So, I know you said it was a couple of years ago. So you got to the day of filming that. Can you talk us through the process of what happens on the set of a soap?
So yeah, it's probably as you would expect. It's a complete machine. It's a machine. Obviously, they've got so many episodes going out a week, so they just it's big teams, and they're moving as fast as they can. So yeah, literally, my day was I turned up. I had 2 days actually, because one day was on location and one day was on the set. So the first day you turned up, and I was sat in the green room for a little while. And then got in the car with Jack P. Shepherd, who played David Platt.
Can I just ask what he's like? Because he's got a bit of a reputation. Some people say he's lovely, some people say he's not.
Yeah, it was sound as a pound. There was a point I think it was on the second day, because I swear it was on the set. We were sat there in between scenes watching boxing on his phone. He's a lovely lad. I got a really nice vibe off him. Got on with him really well. So yeah, I can say that. But yeah, so yeah, the first day, like I say, got in the car with Jack, drove to location, literally did the shoot. It was just a case of get on set. I think we went through it once, shot it a couple of times, made sure all the angles were covered and stuff like that, and then it was just back to Corrie. And then yeah, the following day, I was on the set. And it was pretty much the same thing, barring not travelling to location. Like I say, it's just a complete machine. Like I said, because they've got to film so much in such a little amount of time, because obviously they're putting out so much content every week. And yeah, there's no real time to dilly dally about. It's just a case of get on with it. The only thing that I remember we had to struggle. We had they called it the beast from the east. If you remember, we had that really bad weather. So we literally had people running over with the big Coronation Street coats and hot water bottles and hand warmers and everything to try and keep us warm in between takes. So yeah, that was a challenge. But yeah, it was all good fun. I loved it.
And did you manage to nick anything from the set?
No, I didn't dare. I just know. I thought I want to come back, so I'm going to behave. I got a picture with Jack outside the Rovers return. But yeah, that was my souvenir.
And also, you've done other TV work. What surprised you about TV sets? Because what surprised me, I don't know, it was just the type of program we're filming. So our program was different court cases for young people each week. So it was a different case each week. So you'd film in court, and then we'd do a reconstruction day 3 months later. My case was about racism. And it was 8 hours in the courtroom, and then it was 11 hours on location. But it was a 30-minute program. So there's a lot of stuff we filmed that didn't make it, but also there was a lot of waiting around for them to put like sugar. I had to smash a window and stuff, so we had to put sugar glass in the door, and then we had to do. It was a low-budget production cut, so they only had 3 cameras, so they had to, like keep resetting shots and stuff like that. And I found the waiting about, like especially being 15 at the time, you think it's going to be glamorous and. Because you're starring in the part as well, and it weren't like that at all. I think we've got like ham rolls on the day, and then on location we've got a McDonald's lunch, and I'm thinking, hang on, I'm about to be on TV here. Is there anything like that surprised that with you?
Although you can't knock a good Mackey's, to be fair. So obviously I've done, like I said, a couple of TV appearances, but I've also done like a couple of like student short films, which are like you say, like no budget to low budget productions. TV, there is waiting around, but it's a lot quicker. And I think that's just due to the fact of obviously they do have more of a budget, so they've got more equipment, they've got more crew, so obviously they can set shots up quicker and stuff like that. And obviously, like you say, like things like catering and all that, that's dealt with way before you get there. So there's no messing around with that. Obviously, yeah, like you say, when it comes to low to no budget, so like some of the short films I've done, like did you say the one you did had 3 cameras?
Yeah.
Some of the ones I've done have only had 1. And obviously, yeah, you've got to get it from literally every single angle. So yeah, there is, yeah, when you're doing these low to no budget productions, there is a lot of waiting around, and yeah, it can kind of sap the joy out of you because, like you say, it's not what you imagine. It's not what you imagine. The job to be like. But I think that as well. So obviously, and I don't say this in a bad way at all, but obviously you will get some people that try and get into the industry for fame. And stuff like that. And I think that probably kind of, needles some of them out, if that makes sense. Because, for me, I just love doing it. So I'm quite happy to be on even if I am waiting around for 10 hours, I'm quite happy to be on a set for that long. But, there's some that probably won't have, won't want to do that and, won't do that as much. So, yeah.
And what crazy experiences have you had on set? Because during the film of my program, I had to shout racist abuse into a bush because they didn't want me doing it outside the house we were using. And as I was doing that, next to me on the floor with the boom mic was the sound man Dave from Challenge Annika. I don't know if you remember the program. And I'm sitting there thinking in my head, I know you from somewhere. Why I'm shouting this racist abuse? And then we were just sitting in McDonald's, and I just went to him. I went, "Did you used to do Challenge Annika?" And he went, "Oh, cool, you've got a really good memory." But that was such a surreal experience because that was like someone from my childhood. Now sitting next to me with the boom mic.
I've had a few. I don't know whether they're called crazy. I'd say funny experiences. One I can remember. I was doing. You do a thing called sometimes do showreel scenes. And I was filming one in Media City, UK, in Salford, just near Coronation Street, actually. And someone, it was like under a bridge, and someone literally come down the stairs, and we was packing up after the day, and literally took the clapperboard out of the bag, had a look, and went, "Oh, it's not Coronation Street," and then just walked. so that kind of put you in your place a little bit, like, yeah, we're not all that. And I'm trying. I think, yeah, there was one where this hurt more than anything. I was doing this was a low budget, no budget short film. I was doing some students in Salford, playing the role of a drug dealer. And he had to get shot on a canal bank, and there was no crash mat or anything underneath me, and it was a cobbled canal bank, and I had to go down. So yeah, you can imagine, yeah, the pain that ensued after that. But yeah, that's all I can really think of. It's all been quite boring. No, not boring, but yeah, not crazy, shall we say.
a lot of your work I've seen online and stuff, and like you said, we only connected recently. You play a lot of menacing characters. Do you think that's
Yeah.
because of your looks, or do you feel like you're typecast a bit?
Yeah, usually, yeah. So it usually kind of like goes off like your like headshots they call and stuff like that, and that kind of determines what your bracket is and where you end up in the business. But I feel like as well that I've been able to branch out because I do quite a lot of comedy as well.
Yeah.
So I've not just been put into one box, if that makes sense. I have been able to explore a little bit, which has been nice. But yeah, I think like quite a lot of people that I spoke to, especially early on, say like you're kind of stuck in your bracket for the first few years and the first few jobs, and then when you started to get a bit of experience and more people started to notice you, then you can kind of explore a little bit and go down, other avenues, shall we say.
You've done stage work as well. What
Mhm.
do you enjoy about being on the stage?
The buzz of it all. I love the buzz of it. It's sheer panic before you go on. Literally, your whole body just shits itself and things. What are you doing? Why have you decided to do this with your life? What's going on with you? But then once you've done it, that feeling when you come off. I've recently just done a show actually for Reload Theatre Company, One Play One Day Six. Which
I'll ask you about that.
yeah, which for any actors is an amazing challenge. If you want to get involved with, do follow Reload Theatre and get involved. So basically, you meet up the night before, and you get drawn with a team of one writer, one director, 4 actors, and then the writer literally goes off that night, writes a script, has it in for 8 o'clock the following morning, and then you meet up at 9 o'clock, rehearse it, and then the show's at 7:30 on that night.
Wow.
So it's a challenge, and it's busy, but it's amazing. It's so much fun, and you meet amazing people along the way. And the audiences are so supportive because it's always for charity and stuff like that. And they know that you've only had literally, even under 24 hours to get it prepared. So it's a really, really fun experience.
And how do you find learning lines? Because I've done a lot of plays within my school which were scripted. The TV programme I did was improvised just based off of the witness statements. I didn't have to
Yeah.
learn lines for that. But for the school plays, our teacher was very in depth with the script. So I used to find I had to record it on the old Walkmans and then play it
Yeah.
in my head and sleeping and stuff. How do you learn your lines?
So I sound big any day when I say this, and I don't mean to because I don't know how it happens, but it just kind of happens, and I don't understand why. I literally like someone because the play that I've just done, it was quite a wordy play, and someone actually pulled me and said, "How did you remember all that?" I said, "I haven't got a clue." And I think for me, I just always say because I try and keep myself as fresh as possible. So, like I say, obviously, I've got an agent, and my agent's always working hard and trying to push me forward to work. But I also look myself. So I try and keep myself. And then I see like things on Twitter or X or whatever people want to call it nowadays, like little monologue challenges and stuff like that. So I just try and keep myself fresh on that show. So I think it's just like a bit of a cog. It just seems to be like the more we read it, it just kind of goes in. Which I'm very lucky that happens because some people don't have it that easy. But yeah, I think just constantly, or not constantly, but doing it as much as I can does help, does keep the mind fresh, and just allows it to be easier, I guess.
When you're preparing to be a character, do you sort of go into that zone before like the play or the TV appearance? And does that affect your family life, or do you just wait to the day and hit the zone?
No, I do manage to keep work and private life private, which is good on that front. So I don't ever bring, because I do, like you say, normally I do play quite nasty characters and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't bring that home. I'm quite good in myself that, that's a part, you're pretending to be that person. And once you stop pretending to be that person, you're again. So I don't know whether I'm a nice person, but, but yeah, I'm quite good at keeping them separate.
And what do you enjoy more, theatre or TV?
Ooh, I enjoyed both. I do love the live buzz of theatre. I've got to admit that. I do love having a live audience in front of, even though it's nerve wracking. When you've said a line and you've got, 100 people or what have you laughing, it's the best buzz in the world. So there's no getting around that. But as well, but some of the things obviously that you can create on screen, I just obviously do look a lot more what's the word? Sensational, maybe that might be the word I'm looking for. And you've got more more room to play with on the screen as well. So there's very good points for both. It kind of like balances out
Brilliant.
for me anyway.
And also, you've delved into the world of social media. So, like we met on TikTok, you also vlog on YouTube. Why did you decide that? Was that for just more exposure, or is that something you wanted to delve into?
No,
as well?
that was more for my mental health. That, to be fair, because I found myself. Because obviously, as well as being an actor, like I say, I'm a dad. So obviously, I've got to provide for my family. So I do have, normal day job as well. And at the time, I just found myself out of work, and I just found my mental health really struggling because I just had nothing to do, nothing to get up for. My sleeping pattern was up the wall. I was going to bed at like 6, 7 in the morning and waking up at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I was just like, this can't carry on. So I just thought, right, what do I do? And yeah, then that's when, to be fair, River Blue Productions first came up, because I had ideas in my mind for things that I wanted to create. So I started doing that, and then I started vlogging with River Blue Productions. And then I thought, well, actually, I'm doing this side of it, so why don't I do the acting side of it? So yeah, it just kind of snowballed from there, really. But it was just to keep my mental health ticking over.
And what difficulties have you come across being the other side of the camera with River Blue Productions than you don't have when you're acting?
Because everything's from the ground up, so it's not just a case of being handed a script and saying, right, on this day we're filming this, learn these lines, then we're going to go, because you've literally got to do it. Also, I'm literally in the process of writing a script, so literally starting from like first base really, and I think I'm on like the 4th draft of that at the moment. So it's a lot of hard work, and obviously you've got to try and get a team together, using probably a lot of people that because you've not got the budget that you really, really want. Because it's not like I can't use my, say, 5 to 6 years of acting experience to forward me in that, if that makes sense. Because it's a different side of the industry, so I've got to start again. So again, it's getting the experience and getting some, experience behind you, so people look at it and go, actually, yeah, I'll put some money into that, and obviously then that starts to make things a bit easier. So yeah, it's tricky, but I feel like it'll be very rewarding at the end of it.
No, definitely, and you're very brave because you know the struggles in the industry as it is to then start a production company from the ground down. Takes a lot of guts, so hats off to you.
Like, it was just a case of I hear so many people saying like you get sick of waiting for other people to give you an opportunity. You know what I mean? So it's a case of make your own. And I thought, well, I've got these ideas in my head, so it's either I at least give them a try, or I kick myself later down the line because I didn't bother. I'd rather give it a try and it not work than not try it and not know.
No, exactly. That's really good advice. If people want to get hold of you or talk to you or anything like that, where can they find you?
So I've got a Facebook page, Stephen Gidwaney Actor. I'm on X at Stephen Gidwaney, Instagram and TikTok at Stephen Gidwaney Actor. Any of them will do you.
And what we'll do, we'll chuck the links in the description below so people can get to you quicker. Well, Stephen, we're coming to the end, and it's been a fascinating conversation, but I've got one last question, and this question I ask every guest. Now, your answer will not change your life journey so far, but if you had 30 seconds with your 13-year-old self, what would you say?
Too much pressure on yourself. Go with the path. It'll work out in the end.
Well, that's brilliant. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for your time, and please come on anytime when you've got other projects coming up or anything like that. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure.